Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Terra Tech. And on this episode, we are going to be continuing where we left off. Now, as you can see, our bot has changed dramatically here in between episodes. Basically, I spent about an hour kind of messing around with it, and I think it came out pretty good. I mean, it's not finished. Obviously, we didn't have enough money or enough pieces to completely outfit this thing how I wanted to, and the shape is not exactly what I want. I mean, it's a rectangle. To be honest, guys, it's not fantastic, but we will be adding to it, and that's what I wanted to basically create was the base. And this is going to be the inside of our bot. Then we're going to go off in different directions on the outside, almost kind of like the spider that I usually do, and we're going to go up as well. But this is the inside. As you can see, the middle layer is down one layer so that the base pieces are actually protected from getting shot on the side. They do still get shot from overhead if they're shooting like mortars and things of that sort, but for the most part, they're pretty well guarded. And of course, then there's shield and bubbles and all that other stuff that's on there. But to show you kind of what I did here is on the back, I went ahead and put this as low as possible for the receivers to be able to pick up the stuff that they need to be able to pick up. Now, I did put the conveyor belts here. They're not working just yet because we don't have the step conveyor belts. I did go ahead and put spaces in there for that when we finally do get that piece. As you can see, it would go up one layer here. And then, of course, if I move this, you could see it could go up one more layer right there. It doesn't work right now. I tried doing it with what do you call it? Crap, I can't even think of the name now. I've been doing this for so long. Come on, let me click on this over here real quick. I actually need to move up just slightly to be able to click on it. And I will come over here. Tractor pad. There it is. Tractor pad is what I tried doing it with. It didn't work with that either. It won't pull the pieces off in a reliable form. Sometimes it does it. Most of the time it doesn't. And so because I can't rely on it, I can't really use it that way. So I went ahead and just kind of made it set up so that in the future we'll be able to do something with it as soon as I get that step conveyor belt. And if anybody you out there know what the recipe is for that, leave that down in the comment section, and I definitely will make it the earliest chance that I can possibly get, because that is really the only piece that is stopping us from making this completely and totally uber at the moment, at least for the base. And as you can see right here on the base, it will then come up here and it will go around in a little square, a little rectangle, which is the exact same setup I had before. I do apologize for that, guys. I forgot to mute my phone there. Let me do that right now so it doesn't go off again, because when those things start, they never really stop. But yeah, that's it goes off in a little rectangle there, and it will continue to refine the pieces and make more stuff out of it. It also recycles with the scrapper. Takes the pieces from actual pieces like weapons or wheels or whatever the case may be, and scraps it into its base components, and then it will use those base components to either continue to make more pieces or just kind of float around in this rectangle until it does something with it. And on the sides here I have the generators, so they will go ahead and use any fuels to power up my bot. And then if you can see over here on the side, I went ahead and put one of these transition pieces, one of these filter conveyors, so I can tell it what I do and what I don't want to pass through. So if it goes through this area enough times and it's not making anything out of it, and it's not selling it or not selling it, I mean if it's not sending it over here to the generator, then I can either open this up and have it come through here and sell all those pieces, or I can open it up over here on this side and have it come through. And I'm thinking I'll put silos over here and just store the pieces. I really wish there was an on and off switch to the silo though, so that I can load it up and then unload it. And maybe there is, and I just don't know how to do that just yet. But yeah, we really just can't use those efficiently at the moment. And then I have two more left, and what I'm thinking is I'll put another one up here in this corner, and then another one on this corner over here, and I will connect these conveyor belts together so the whole thing is going around in one giant square inside my base. And on the inside, that's where I'll put all the extra pieces, like the silos and anything else that I really need. And maybe it will get very, very detailed at some point, but this is just the simple setup that I have so far, and I think it is going to work pretty well for us. Now, the only downside to this bot is it doesn't have very many weapons anymore. I went ahead and sold all the little tiny crappy ones that at least I don't really like all that much. The AK ones, they're okay, but they don't do as much damage, and they definitely don't shoot in every direction like these Venture Fire rifle ones definitely do. And then I put all the stud ones down here on the bottom so that it's, definitely shooting in a nice area here in the front. Now, unfortunately, because I went down one layer, it is pretty low to the ground. Now, when we get further out there, it's not going to be an issue in the salt flats. Definitely not an issue. But over here in the rocky terrain, that is the grassland and definitely the mountainous terrain out here, it was getting stuck a little bit. I kind of took it around just to kind of test it out, see if it's going to work or not. And I needed to put these wheels down here. Now, these wheels are pretty nice. It's the hub wheels, the GSO ones. These are, kind of unique in the sense that they can put right underneath a block, and then the wheel goes straight down. Unlike the other ones that need to be connected from, either side, and therefore there has to be a flat piece on the ground. So this one, basically, if I can continue to do this and just cover the entire bottom part of my bot with this, it should never really get stuck on anything. Now, I thought about doing that. I thought about covering the entire bottom. Besides the fact that it's really expensive to do that, I also consider the fact that it's going to be adding a fair bit of lag to the game, because every block adds something. It has to render that block. And so if you can switch from using the GSO one, the GSO ones to the GeoCore ones, your computer is going to run a little bit more smooth because they're bigger and there's less of them to get to that massive size. So by adding these wheels, I was kind of negating all the work that I was doing by switching over to these big wheels. And since I'm going to be doing so much with my base here, I figured, this is going to cause enough lag as it is. I don't really need to be adding to it with that. So I went ahead and just did the bare minimum that I think I really needed to do, which is just the side blocks where it's going to get stuck and the ones here in the front that's already there. Now, if I add any more down the center, I'll definitely put some wheels underneath those because that's where it will kind of teeter-totter at times. But I went ahead and left that empty for now because, one, I just don't have the money, and two, I just don't have the money. So that's really the only reason. Otherwise, I would have filled it in and put conveyor belts all the way around the side and showed you a finished product. And if I could have, I would have filled this in with nothing but batteries, but definitely did not have the money for that. Those are like $12,000 a piece. That was almost, I think I had 36 to start with. And that was all the money we've gathered throughout the entire game. So, yeah, it took a little while for that. And as you can see over here on the side, I have my solar reactors, busy doing what they do, which is recharging my batteries. And we're going to go ahead and pick up all that, and we're going to head out and see, what kind of trouble we can get into and whether this bot is really going to work or not, because it just does not have a lot of weapons over the sides and the back. So it's pretty vulnerable at the moment. I think it's probably going to get wrecked if we get into too big of a fight, at least until I can find more weapons. And of course, over the course of our time out there, we found plenty of weapons and we just left them there on the ground. So yeah, that was our bad right there. Maybe we should have picked them up. I don't think we could have at the time. We just didn't have a bot big enough to do it. And you can see this thing is a bit of a beast. I'm trying to turn it, actually I'm pushing back now, and it takes about 5 to 10 seconds for it to stop moving in whatever direction I told it to go a minute ago. So I'm moving backwards right now, and if I stop holding the back button down and push forward, you see it took a couple of seconds there. Now it's going a little faster because it actually has traction. The big wheels do anyways. The little small wheels is the problem. Those things, they don't get a lot of traction, and even when they do, they just don't have a lot of power packed behind them, and they're carrying an enormous amount of weight. So yeah, with the combination of the two, I'm hoping this will be able to do what I want it to do in the future, but we may have to tweak it a little bit. We may have to, I don't know, we may have to move the wheels on the side down further by adding some like GSO blocks or something like that and just pushing it down, another layer so that it sits up a little higher up off the ground or something along those lines. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work that well, but to be honest, this is the worst terrain that we could have picked to go through. So I'm going to turn if I possibly can, maybe, and get the crap out of the hills, get the crap away from these mountains and out there into maybe the salt flats. Now, I'm trying to turn it right now. It doesn't seem to want to even move, let alone turn. So I guess we're going to go back a little bit. Yeah, see, this thing is just a beast, and that's why I do not like making square ones or rectangle ones that are just purely rectangle. I like to go off on one side. It gives it a little bit more traction. It gives it a little bit more boost when it goes over uneven terrain like this, because one side or the other is able to grip. Now, it makes it difficult to go through certain places, like, wow, look at that. There's not very many weapons at all. And we still haven't gotten any of the big ones yet. So we still got to do a little bit of work. Wow, we completely went right over this guy. Oh, and he has to explode right underneath me, doesn't he? And he's still alive. He's still alive after all that. But guess what? Guess what, guys? We are going to get some more weapons out of him, and I think that makes it worth it. One weapon? You're going to give me one weapon, guy. That's it. Oh, seriously? Maybe that wasn't worth it. I guess we didn't lose anything, so we shouldn't complain, but I want to destroy this block right here in front of me, and I'm going to try to come over here and pick this little speed boost thing up if I can, and just kind of throw it there on the side. I don't know if that's going to do anything for us. I mean, it's supposed to. It definitely has a job that it's supposed to function with, but for the size of our bot, I don't really know if we can expect that to do great things or not. Oh, man. We got stuck on this stupid rock. And the reason we're getting stuck on this rock is all my weapons shoot right over it. And all my weapons are shooting over it because I do not have enough stud lasers for the front. Because if I did, I could put the stud lasers on the wheels that are on the very bottom, and they'd be able to shoot those rocks very, very easy. The problem with that, as we've shown before, is if you have anything on the front of your bot that does not use wheels, it can get stuck when you go over these ledges. And my bot gets stuck enough as it is. I don't think we really need to worry or, concentrate on making sure it gets even, more stuck in the future. Which, by adding that is basically what we're doing. And I thought we were going to try to get out of this desert region, and instead it looks like we're going further into it. So can I turn, please? Please let my bot turn a little bit. I don't know how to fix that. I really don't know what we could do to make sure this thing turns better other than going out on the left or the right side. That's really the only... Oh, yes, salt flats, please. Thank you. Yes, I'll take this area. Nice and flat terrain for as long as I can have it. Then we might maybe be able to actually attack some creatures, some bots, and destroy them. When I say creatures, my mind automatically flashed like a monster running across the terrain. It would be cool if they threw those in there. Not bots that have like blocks on them, but just actual physical creatures on the planet you might have to fight. You don't get anything out of it. You just get the enjoyment of, fighting something different, which, I'm not asking for different stuff because I'm kind of bored with what they got. I'm just saying, like, it would be kind of cool to see. Holy crap, this guy's exploding all over the place. Wow. Okay. Well, at the very least, we got some new blocks in here, which, I sorely need, and they're too expensive to buy. We also got some more wheels, and to be honest, the wheels are kind of what bankrupted me. They are really, really expensive. Actually, these wheels are kind of off. Let me move them all down one. That might take a minute here, but actually, before we do that, what we could do? Yeah, we could move this off one, so it's just kind of on there. Actually, the only way we could do that would be to put something there, so it just kind of clicks onto the edge, like right there, and kind of force it on there. There we go. That is perfect. And now any of the other ones we put on should kind of go back to back with it. Oh, no, what did we do there? Get rid of that. Do that again. Oh, you know what it is? It's attached to the bottom. Okay, so there's no way we can fix that. We just have to move it down, put it on, and then put that underneath again. Right there. That's going to work fine. And then we can do the same thing with this one. Right there. Okay. And I kind of had to do, like I said, just move it down one. Oh, invader coming, huh? Well, of course you did. Right there in front of all those goodies, all my weapons. We'll have to move this back while I get those wheels kind of set up. Don't want that guy coming right on top of me. It takes about 30 seconds for them to spawn. And I like, even when I am ready for them, I like for them to fall down first. Because it does seem, and I might be wrong about this, but it does seem like when they fall down, the very first like 4 or 5 seconds they spawn, they're pretty invulnerable to any attacks. And I don't like losing like 5-6 seconds while they sit there and shoot me and I can't do anything to them. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out on that. That could be very, very dangerous for you. Okay, we are going to have to attack you from a different side so I can pick up all those goodies, which mainly are my weapons and those wheels. But you're going to drop a whole lot more for me. I can see all the geocore blocks that I really, really want. Oh, man. What are you doing? Get away. Why are you charging me? There's plenty of room out here, and you're still charging me. Oh, great. And most of those geocore blocks were destroyed. They know how to tease me, guys. They know what I want, and they know what not to give me when he explodes. Now, I will take these stud lasers. Definitely take these stud lasers. And I'm going to put these all on here. Now, for those of you who have never taken on an invader, my words of advice on that one, guys, is to be very, very careful when you first start out. They are, easy now because my guy is so big. They didn't used to be. They used to spawn a lot more than they do now, and that was pretty rough, to be honest. They had one patch that I remember in particular, because that was the same patch that got my nephew to start playing the game, and it was too difficult for him. Like he's young, and so he's just getting into games, and he saw me play, and I've talked about this before, but he saw me play, and I got him into the game, and he took it home, and he installed it on his computer, and that day they did a patch, and the patch basically made it where, I'm saying basically way too many times, but yeah, it just added a way for him to not really get any enjoyment out of it, because the invaders, they spawn like every 4 or 5 seconds, and I remember playing that day as well, and I was like, dude, I can't even do it, and I've been playing for a while. I can't even survive this. They were spawning way too often, and I was just getting my face wrecked over and over and over again, and it put him off from the game completely. Like, he doesn't even want to play it anymore because of that. And I think they were smart in kind of lowering the difficulty down a bit, because if you get to the point where you can't even play the game without just getting destroyed over and over and over again, you're not going to want to play. You're going to want to play a game that you can at least enjoy somewhat. Like if you can't even get a foothold in the game. And back then, the way they had it set up is not kind of the way they have it set up now, which is if you die, if you lose your bot, you can always go back to the station, kind of rebuild. You have access to certain things. You didn't used to have that. I want that back in there, guys. Put that back in there. Oh, you're not going to put it back in the center, are you? You guys, how do I get it in where I want it? Right. Oh, jeez. I'm going to have to take this wheel off just so I can put this back in there. Oh, no. I took the wheel off and it's still not going to go back in. Okay, well, I guess we just have to deal with the fact it doesn't want to cooperate. And this is this is exactly what I had to put up with off camera. I was sitting there just yelling at it. I was like, do what I want it to do. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm just asking for it to go, in a certain spot. And it was just not cooperating, even in the least. It was just, it was fighting me every step of the way, guys. And I'm glad I finally got it done. I was very happy that it came out as well as it did. But it could have still come out even better than it did. Like if it had just cooperated a little bit more. What is that? I can't zoom out anymore, can I? Okay. Let's put these wheels back on. I'm going to have to borrow this piece again. Put it way out here. Oh, yeah. I like that. I got an extra 2 sets of wheels on that side just from using that technique. I'm going to have to do the same thing over here as well. So that will take a minute, guys. I do apologize if you didn't want to see that. Put that back on. And this is one of the things I was going to talk to you guys about as well, is I don't know if you know how to make it where it attaches to certain objects over others. These generators down here on the bottom, they were attached to the wheel and not the blocks underneath. And you can see that it does have it possible to go ahead and attach to the blocks right here on the bottom. So now it's attached to the block and not the wheel. But sometimes when you put the things down, it does it in reverse. And I'm like, it's kind of wonky in that regards and not very efficient. Because when you move certain things, like the wheels again right there, it attached to the wheel and not the blocks underneath it. And I kind of wish that you could decide which one it attached to. Or at the very least, just have it where if it's attached to anything, whether it's attached to the wheel, and then you move the wheel, if it's still attached to an object, like the block, see, again, right there, I want it in that spot. I don't care if it's attached to the wheel or not. Stop making me work for it. Give it to me. Just give it to me a lot easier, and I will have a lot more fun. But yeah, I think they're gonna perfect that. I think they will. I think at some point down the road, again, seriously, how many of these do I have to do? Okay, there's some stupid blocks down here. Get rid of that. And I bet you more than anything, I'm gonna leave one of these behind because I just didn't even know it fell down. Come on, put that down there. There it is. Okay, so one is down, and the other one was getting sucked up into my little station up here. I don't want that one. Can't do anything with that one. Not yet, anyways. Maybe one day. Maybe one day they will give us the recipes for the Venture. Or even better yet, the Geocore, man. That would be freaking awesome. I would love that. Wow. It is having difficulty keeping up with the power requirements for this thing right here. As you can see, I got a lot more generators on here than I did before. But I did add another one of these batteries, which was really expensive, I might add. But I went ahead and added another one, and it should be able to keep up a little bit better than it is, but it definitely is having some issues. I don't want that. I don't want that. I do want these weapons. Yes, I will take all of those. Nice little chunk off of this guy. And if I stay out here long enough, they should throw another invader at me. Although from what I've seen now, if you do have an invader spawn and you stay in that same spot, they don't really, you know, like I said, they've kind of lowered the difficulty, so they won't really throw another one at you very quickly. But they still will. They're not going to be completely complacent and just be like, oh, you're staying in the same spot, you're not doing anything. Let's just allow you to survive like that. No, if you're out here, you know, one eventually will spawn on you, and it won't let me pick that little weapon up. I wonder why. I can pick this one up. Yes, there we go. Put that over there. Any of these weapons, I should pick up all the weapons that I see because we're so low on weapons right now, but I don't like these. I don't like the 3-pound cannons. I really don't like any of the other ones other than the Venture and the Stud. If I could get away with it, those would be the only ones I even use. But, you know, a lot of the time, you don't have that choice. You don't have that luxury. Oh, of course. Of course, as soon as I put these things down, it becomes nighttime, and we don't have that anymore. Okay, so that's not going to work. We need to perfect the ability to chop trees down. That is going to be the only way a bot this size is going to stay active without stopping like every 10 minutes to get more power. And of course, if you're waiting on the daytime to get power, no, not going to be the greatest thing for you. And as you can see, I put a whole bunch of those boosters on the back, but we don't have a fuel tank. I never, ever find a fuel tank in this game. I don't know how rare those things are supposed to be, or if you guys find them all the time, but my luck on that one is very, very low. Now, one thing I was also going to mention is building at night is kind of a nightmare. As you can see, when you pick this stuff up, it blinds you with all these little white dots on there, so much so that when you're building your base over here, as you guys can see, it becomes very difficult to see what exactly is here and what is not here anytime you pick something up. I'm not a big fan of building at night. In fact, for a couple of times there, I actually had to just stop. I had to walk away and wait until it was daytime again before I could start building again, because I just could not see anything of what I was doing on there. So that was not ideal. Oh, no, don't pick up all that stuff. Don't pick up all that stuff. I can't do anything with it. You guys won't recycle that. You won't use it in... Oh, man. I just had to go back and get some more, didn't I? Oh, that's gonna be something else to get rid of. In fact, let me move away from this area before we move those receivers, and everything should fall down and not switch over to the other receiver. There we go. Everything fell down. I can go ahead and pick up the other one. Yeah, kind of got rid of some of the stuff, and then I got stuck on something because I wasn't watching where I was going. I got stuck on a freaking hill, didn't I? Ugh. How about boosters? No, boosters definitely. And it won't let me go into build mode because there's junk underneath me, isn't there? Yep, there it is. Junk underneath me exploding. Oh, guys, what is wrong with this game? Stop making me... I guess we're going in reverse. We don't really have a choice. And there was stuff up there I kind of wanted to go see. It looked like there might have been a base up there as well. But nope, now we're picking up all the pieces. And it does look like it's hurting my bot by pushing up from underneath me. Some of my pieces are flashing, and they didn't get hit in that last fight. There's no reason they should be red right now. So, yeah, we will have to check that out as soon as we get some power here. If it starts to repair those blocks, we'll know for sure that is a thing. Let's see, can we shop this down? Can we pick it up? That's the story. No, we cannot pick it up. Okay, so that is not going to work. We need to go back to our base. Let's see, can we get over there? Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, this bot, as big, as mean as it looks, just not done yet. And when they're not done, there we go. Got a little bit of power. Yeah, see, look at that. It's repairing the back of my bot. None of that back piece ever got hit. The only thing it's ever done to take any damage is pick stuff up. That's unfortunate. I'd never noticed it took damage from these weird issues of picking crap up like that. And pro processor, huh? I don't think we have a pro processor. What is a pro processor? I don't know, but we're gonna check it out. Can we get in there? If I can get close enough to it. Ooh, there's some stuff on that one that I haven't seen before, right? Come on, no, you're going too far to the side. Let me get in there a little bit closer. Wow, look how crazy that looks right there. Okay, let me see, what do we got here? Anything? No, not really. Nothing I haven't seen before. I mean, it's all regular stuff. That's one we've already discovered. Yeah, this is back over here next to all these base pieces. Oh, and look at the fog just rolled out. I can finally see what is what, and we're gonna go off in this direction because you can see the biome that I'm looking for. The biome with all the trees, because apparently this thing can pick up the pieces of wood, and that works for me. I just need to get rid of all this junk on the back of my bot because it just really stacks up. And I don't want to fight that guy. But he's in the only area that I might actually be able to get up. And he's in the one area that I need to sell in. So I guess we are fighting this guy. And we'll hope that we win and we don't lose any pieces here. Wow, look how big he is, though. I like the venture bots when they get to a certain size. They start looking like the cars that I had when I was a kid. Those little micro machines. That's what he kind of looks like. Oh, and of course he's going to go over to the side. Little butthead always has to go over to the side. Your anchor blocks are under attack. Oh, you can go after the base. I'd rather you go after the base than me. I don't need that base anyways. Oh, yeah, and you're dead, dude. You're so dead. Yes, die. Oh, man. I can't believe I'm willing to sacrifice a base over this bot right here. I need to get some fuel tanks for sure so I can go ahead and repair this thing. Or not repair it, but move it a little bit easier. There's another one. Where did that guy come from? Oh, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and end the episode here. I am going to charge up before we go in there. I'm going to sell all this junk, and we're going to start from there, guys. Again, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you do, definitely leave comments down below, because I would love to hear what you guys think of this bot. I think it's coming along pretty well. It does have a long way to go, but until it gets there, it's a little difficult to move for sure. And until next time, guys,